acceptable use policy for illustrative renditions. Now, this is a revision of the previous acceptable use policy, which allowed some security breaches within the past couple of weeks. Now, the agenda for this short presentation is to give you an overview of the new policy, the purpose, give you the scope of it and the policy itself, so a few details, the enforcement, and a couple of definitions for a few things like blogging and junk mail for those who may not be familiar with those. Now, the overview is the internet, the intranet, and the extranet related systems, including but not limited to computer equipment, software, network accounts, storage media, and electronic mail are the property of the company Illustrated Renditions. So anything that you create and save to company equipment or using company equipment, anything you do with company equipment is property of the company. One good thing for the security policy here is the effective security is a team effort involving the participation and the support of every employee and in any and all affiliates who deal with the information and or the information systems here at the company. And of course, responsibility of every computer user to know these guidelines and to conduct their activities accordingly. So it's your responsibility to help enforce this as well. You help your neighbor in the next office or the next cubicle. If you notice they're not doing something along the guidelines of the policy, help them out. Maybe they're not sure. Now the purpose is we're going to outline the acceptable use of computer equipment at illustrative renditions. And the rules are in place to protect the employee and the company. So inappropriate use exposes, of course, the company, and also opens the company up to risk such as virus attacks, people compromising the network systems and our services, and also legal issues as well. Now, the policy applies to all employees, not just a group of them, all of us together. Even as the IT director, I still have to follow the policy. The contractors as well, consultants, people who we hire on a temporary basis, and the others who work here at the company are all required to follow the same policy. The policy also applies to all equipment which is owned by Illustrative Renditions or leased by the company. The policy itself, the first part is the general use and ownership. Network administration desires to provide a reasonable level of privacy. Because of the need to protect the company, network management cannot guarantee the confidentiality of information stored on any network device belonging to the company. But it is our desire to provide a reasonable level of privacy. Users should be aware that the data they create on corporate systems remains the property of the Illustrative Renditions company. So if you sit there and create logos or something for a company that you're starting on the side or something, when you create it on company equipment, it automatically becomes the property of the company. And employees are responsible for exercising good judgment regarding the reasonableness of the personnel use. So let's move on to the next section, which is the security and proprietary information. User interface for information contained on the internet, the intranet, extranet related systems should be classified as either confidential or not confidential. Maybe confidential information could possibly have, as a extra security measure, maybe some form of encryption for it. We're going to start keeping passwords secure, and we're not going to share accounts. We don't want an individual accessing another individual's computer and doing something on the other computer that's going to get the other person in trouble. So we're going to have it set now where we're going to start changing the passwords every 6 months. We start having problems or something, we're going to knock it down to 3 months. All PCs, laptops, and workstations will be secured with a password-protected screensaver as another security measure. If you, for some reason, have to get up and leave your desk, when it goes to that screensaver, um, it's going to go to that screensaver, and when you come to that pack, you're going to have to type in that password to get back in. And employees must use extreme caution when opening email attachments received from unknown senders. If you get an attachment or an email from an unknown individual and it has an attachment, do not open it. I repeat, do not. A lot of times that can be a virus or a Trojan or something that's going to get in there and compromise the network. So we're going to implement some advanced security virus protection software for emails and so forth to catch viruses when they come in. Unacceptable use. Under no circumstances is an employee of illustrative renditions to engage in any activity that is illegal under local, state, federal, or international laws while utilizing illustrative renditions owned resources. So don't go to any pornographic websites, for one. That may cause some people some discomfort, and we're not going to tolerate that, for one. Next is your email and communication activities. I just recently spoke about the not opening of attachments from unknown senders. I'm going to add that sending unsolicited email messages, including the sending of junk mail, is strictly forbidden, and we won't tolerate that. Any form of harassment by email, telephone, paging, or texting is forbidden as well. Blogging part here. Blogging by employees, whether using company property or systems here at the company, are also subject to the terms which were set in this policy. Blogging from company systems is also subject to monitoring. Employees, you will may also not attribute personal statements, opinions, or beliefs about the company when engaged in blogging. And employees assume any and all risk associated with blogging. So if you reflect your opinions or your beliefs, that causes some conflicts within the company, then as the employee who instigated, you will be held totally responsible. Any employee found to have violated this policy may be subject to disciplinary action up to and including termination of employment. We're not going to tolerate that. If you're not following the rules, as a company here and as employees, all of us have to play by the same rules. We're like a big baseball team. We're going out there. We work together. The definitions for blogging: personal online journal that frequently updated and intended for general public consumption. These definitions are basically for the ones who may not be familiar with these spam, unauthorized and/or unsolicited electronic mass mailings. So, just kind of summarize, in the long run, plain and simple, don't do anything you're not supposed to. We're going to keep close watch on the setting of the passwords and the setting of the screensaver passwords and so forth. So, if you have any questions, let us know. Thanks.